Conversation with LadyRay, the space where real story meets real impact. My name is Rachel, but you can call me LadyRay, and I'm your host. My guest today arrived in Canada in 2017 with her family and a determination that most people only talk about. She has since become a licensed immigration consultant, a social work graduate, and an educational consultant, and the founder of a growing non-profit community of women, all while working, studying, and raising a family from ground up. She is the founder of Grains on Gardiner Immigration Consulting Clinic. Please welcome a community builder, an award winner, Ifeoma Tony Osudu. Ify, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Lady.
Whatever you feel comfortable. It's so good to have you here. So it's just, this is just a space whereby we share the story for people out there, to inspire people out there. There are young women out there, young ladies out there, aspiring, new immigrants, And then this is one of the things why we have conversation with LadyRay, just to tell our stories and let people know that you can also do it, And first, I'm going to start with the fact that you arrived in Canada in 2017. What was going through your mind on that first day? Like, what did you imagine that your life here would look like?
Okay, first, before I dabble into that, I have to first of all appreciate you and thank you for this initiative. So, for my immigration to Canada in 2017, I have already, while I was in my country home, Nigeria, I've already started thinking of what I would do because I researched a lot. So if you are an immigrant or anywhere you find yourself trying to relocate to another country, I'll advise you to read Gifted Hands by Ben Carson, or The Big Hands, because all the strategy that I use, I got it from that single book, right? Because in that book, Ben Carson spoke about how when he was about to be transferred to Australia, he doesn't know anyone. But because he belongs to, I think, First Adventist, I think that's the name of his church, so he decided to research about them. So he talked to them, he prepared them before coming. So his roommates, they were so surprised that on their first day of arrival, they already have people coming to look out for them because their church members were all over them, right? So I now apply that strategy into my coming to Canada, right? So I decided to embrace my own community by looking out for Catholic communities. Not only did I do that, I researched all the Catholic priests that's from Nigeria. I started sending them messages.
Wow.
CWO, I started sending them messages.
So you had already pictured what you wanted.
Exactly. So I needed that canopy.
Like.
And knowing that I am coming from Nigeria and what happens to our name. So sometimes they might think that, oh, this one is a scammer, or this person is coming to scam them. I always make them comfortable. I'll say, hey, if you don't mind, I'm going to send you my social document, my nomination letter. We have already gotten our ticket. I don't need anything from you people. All that I need from you people is just to communicate with us. So you know that by the time we arrive this country, the very first day I arrived with my family, you have members of CWO with their husbands, white, waiting for me at the airport. The Nigerian priest, Father Azuike, was also waiting for me in the airport. So it was just to me like a home. You succeeding in a new environment depends on the people you meet at the very first time.
And that is a very huge one. That is a big one. Now, with all of these, one of the things I also want to know is, you going from being an MBA holder, to working as a frontline cashier. How did that experience shape you emotionally? As in, how did you keep your spirit intact? Now, I can see that, okay, you talked about the fact that you prepared a lot, but I would just like to know how that felt.
Okay, it actually felt so good because every place I find myself, any situation I find myself, I always have passion doing what I like doing the best. I was trained by Alexoti, right? When at the initial stage of my career, he was the person that retained me in Nigerian banking system, right? So I was so happy doing what I was doing as a frontline cashier because I want to learn Canadian everyday English conversation, right? Which will not enable me to make mistake. Do you understand? So to me, it was really something I enjoy doing because all my life and when I was in banking in Nigeria, mostly corporate banking, marketing, all these things.
So this was like a different.
So this was just like a different field, communicating with customers that approach you in the morning or in the afternoon or in the night. hello, good afternoon, what do you want? Okay, and we deal with code.
Yeah.
Code 4099. So I was just so happy doing that. So what matters is where you are heading to, right?
The vision.
That mindset that you have,
Yeah.
that is what that matters in a new country.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is something that I can actually relate with. I think what I can pick from that is starting. It doesn't matter where you start from, just start, And as a regulated Canadian immigration consultant, I'll say, what is the common misconception newcomers have about the Canadian immigration process? What do you think that is?
Okay, so newcomers, what they usually have is every newcomer actually knows what is happening, right? Because it depends on how you're coming to Canada. Whether as a student, if you're coming as a student, you have already set out that you have this pool of funds. Do you understand? That will take care of your living expenses. Like currently for a student, it's about 22,000 for 1 year. So when you have this, it will be able to take you for 1 year, right? And you also have to work not less than maybe 20 hours or 24 hours, depending on what is on ground. Do you understand? So, and also for you to also understand what the school means, the term full-time studies. Because for you to be a student, you must be a full-time student. So for some schools, their full-time means 5 credit courses, which is equivalent of 15 hours. Some school is 9 credit hours. So you should understand the one that you can carry so that you won't be able to have issues. Then another one for those coming as permanent residents, maybe express entry or whatever.
Yeah.
It is expected that you already have a proof of fund that is expected of you and your family members. For plus or minus, that fund is expected to take you for 1 year or 6 months, right? So by the time you have all this, knowing that all these things are in place for you, that you already provided them before coming, do you understand? So you will not have issues. And you also do your research by knowing what you actually wanted to know. Do not just listen to everybody. Do you understand? Yeah. Do not just listen to everybody. All you need to do is to, for example, if you're a pharmacist and you want to end as a pharmacist in Canada, try researching when you're home. I have friends, when we started, the two of them, they happen to be medical doctors in Nigeria. Do you understand? And when we came here, they were working with one organization, they were taking turn in writing exams. And the two of them, they are now medical doctors. Do not stop yourself from what you want to be. So if you are a medical doctor in Nigeria, try and aim as becoming a medical doctor in Canada.
If that's something you still want
that is, in fact, I will encourage them to be.
The misconception I get there is that people don't prepare enough, to know what it is they want to do. And I know you also partner with multiple Canadian universities as an educational consultant. So I just want to, for people watching, what does the ideal pathway into Canadian post-secondary education looks like for an international student? And where do people mostly go wrong when it comes to that?
Okay, like I have already talked about what it means, how to succeed as an international student when I talk about the full-time study. Do you understand? So, for example, now, if you want to come to Canada to study, it is not just about knowing that you want to study in Canada. You should understand what they call time management. If you don't understand time management, that is when the problem starts. So if you want to succeed in school first, the very first thing you need to do is to ensure that anytime they give you, they provide a course outline. The course outline comes with every due date of assignment, due date of the deadline of assignment, and at the same time the examination day. So you try to do your best on time. If you have it, always ask your instructor, please, do you have a tutor? So with this, you'll be able to succeed.
This will be for people that are now setting. So for people that haven't, what are the pathways? This is your field. Is there a pathway that they should be looking for international students?
Currently, the main focus of Canada is those inside Canada and those from francophone countries. Those who can understand French.
So that's a francophone, you hear guys, so that's one of the pathways.
Those who understand French, not really francophone, but people whose French is their first official language.
Oh, really?
So for you to do this, and if you want to come to Canada, you should be looking at learning French as your first official language.
So if English is my official language, I can just learn French as a second language. That works.
The express end, don't you used to see the category base for French?
No.
You need to see the ITA, the draw. Do you understand? You will see sometimes you see at least 316, 314, 415. So that is the main focus. Yeah. So those outside Canada, maybe for now, if you want to come to Canada, you should look into that.
That's, I just want to get that out. Now, still about you. I know that I've heard you say that one of your dreams was to go back to your alma mater, like to give back to your alma mater. Now, and I know that you returned recently. So when you returned to your alma mater, Maria Regina Model Comprehensive Secondary School in Inewi, 35 years later, what emotions came over you as you walked through those gates? How did you feel? How was that?
Wow. Priceless.
Wow.
This is something that after attending the school and I returned home, my dad opened up his mouth and said, my daughter, not even $1 billion can give you this feeling. Going to my alma mater has been my long time dream, and it's something that felt, the reality, because while I was in their midst, the only thing I remembered is them looking forward, what do you want to be in the future, or what do you want to be when you grow up? And now I am the future.
Wow.
Living my reality, right? So I was just so happy because I was just seeing my little me, the little one that looked like me 35 years ago, right? I was just looking at them, picturing them, and I was smiling. I'll be like, wow, is this how I felt? They knew how I felt when it was just, I can't describe that feeling, but it's something that will go with me everywhere I go. Yeah. So if you have passed out from any school, I advise you go back to your school.
Maria Regina.
Yes.
Wow.
In our
That
school,
is awesome.
all is charity.
That is awesome. I can imagine how I'm sure you might not know it, but it must have been an inspiration to someone. There will be someone in that crowd right now that will say, wow, that was somebody that was there, and then you just inspired someone else and passed on the torch.
People should go home and
that is
go
awesome.
back and give back. Yeah.
Yes, that's awesome. So now, back to us, just about this immigration stuff. I know that many immigrants arrive here, they arrive with, how would I say, like impressive qualifications, and sometimes I feel they feel invisible on the job market. Like, what is one mindset shift that you wish someone had told you on day one?
Okay, so it still boils down to the thing I said, because all that I'm supposed to get from my day one, I heard it before coming. Alright, people said, oh, maybe if you have to do nothing, I said, sorry, I'm not a good fit for that. I don't want. And banking is something that I don't want to do anymore. Again, I don't want it, because assuming I wanted to do banking, I could have started finding how to write mutual funds when I was still in Nigeria, but I never liked it. So when I was in Canada and I was able to get the time job with Scotiabank, my branch manager would always tell me, if you're very good, okay, now don't you want, even when I came before I was hired, she was telling me about a lot of opportunity, that she has an opportunity for FA4. But because being an FA4 is a full-time job, financial advisor 4.
Okay.
Being a financial advisor 4 will be a full-time job for me. It will not enable me to go to school. So I said, no, I don't want. So I was working there as a university banker, and at the same time I was working there as a customer representative, and at the same time working at Superstore as a customer representative. Thereafter, I'll find myself in school, because I've already prepared what I want to do, where I want to be. So my being in Canada is like every year I'm celebrating a milestone.
And now, based on that, it leads me to the question, why immigration?
Okay.
Why immigration consultant?
Yeah, because it's something that I like so much. Like, before I came to Canada, there's this place we used to research. We used to go to CanadaVisa.com, right? So I used to help out. We used to go there to that forum, talk to ourselves and do this and that. So during the time of COVID, and there's this Sax Bound that was there. One WhatsApp group they call Sax Bound. So we used to give out, to each other, oh, do this, do that, do that. So I find out that in that aspect of advocacy, I am very good there, right? So I now said it's better. I now researched, how do I become a Canadian immigration consultant? Now that I am an educational consultant with some schools, because after getting admission for some students, some will want a licensed consultant to process the immigration aspect of it. So what I usually tell them, look for a consultant who will help you to do that. My work as an educational consultant has ended. and I won't be the one to do the visa for you because I am not qualified, right? So that was how a lot of people usually come back giving like fake wrong feedback that, oh, they got some agent that did this and that. I said an agent is not a consultant. Look out for maybe immigration lawyers or for consultant with IRCIC designation. Just look out for all those ones. So at a stage during the era of COVID, when I finished my social work, I said, okay, let me research and see how to do this. That was how I came about Queen's University.
Awesome, awesome. That's it. That's an inspiring one. The courage for you to, go further into something that you already have, like the educational consultant. Now, for the woman sitting at home right now, watching and feeling like, I feel like my season of impact has passed. For someone that, that is afraid of the unknown, that is afraid of starting small. Now, through your own experience, what do you have to say to her?
Please, I was once a full-time mom, full-time student, and again a full-time employee of an organization. And when I went to University of Regina, I forgot to mention I graduated with an academic prize award.
Wow.
Right? Before proceeding, it was that same year that I was able to proceed to Queen's University in Ontario. Do not be deterred and do not hear what they told you. So you need to be very positive and know why you want to do what you want to do, because you face challenge in what you will do, but that challenge, once you cross it, it becomes a milestone. I need to tell you that I have a friend, I think she's 52 now, right? And last year she told me that she has gotten admission into a medical school.
Wow.
Right? So do not, just try to figure out what you want. Ensure that this is exactly what you want. Whatever that comes from it, which is positive, you will chase it. And be like Ify that always say, I want to be an immigration consultant. Because assuming I drop out, right? And anytime I see him, I'll be like, oh, this is what I
wanted to. You won't know what would have happened.
Yeah, do you understand? So try to live your dream. Even if you're tired somewhere, take a break and go back again. It is what you wanted to be, right? Because it is on you.
Awesome. Ify, thank you so much for being here, and not just for being here today, for being that person who shows up for our community. Thank you so much. And I know that we didn't so much talk about your women community today, because I believe that is a whole episode on its own, and then we will give it its own day. But I just want to say thank you for being on Conversation with LadyRay.
Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. I really appreciate you.
Thank you. And to everyone watching and listening today, I hope you heard what I heard. If there's one takeaway from today's episode, let it be that it's never too late to start over. It's never too small to begin. Until next time, thank you for watching.